Uh,
Yeah.
you know what? You see that in the rental go-kart places, you know. I mean, they're super fun, and I do that all the time. Actually, we're going next week in Toronto. We're launching our go-karting team, and it's something called Canadian Motorsport Academy. And you know, we were doing kind of a fun electric go-karts indoors. Actually, I've driven those before, and they're really quite amazing. You know, super fun to drive, and it does give you a little bit of a sensation of what it's like on a racetrack.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I must ask after that, I must ask, what got you into sports cars and IMSA compared to other options you had?
Um, I've always had a love for sports cars. The prototype cars, you know, I go back and remember the days of the Group C cars, which, in my opinion, at that time were the most exciting race cars there were. Just really enjoyed the sights and the sounds of sports car racing because although I follow Formula One very closely, and I'm, you know, I've done a bunch of stuff, you know, or at Formula One events. The one thing that Formula One doesn't have is if you were to take the paint off the cars, most people couldn't tell the difference from one car to the next. They all sound very similar. So, in essence, to the layman, they are all the same car. When you go to sports car racing, you have multi-class racing, and you get, you know, different speeds. You got V8 engines, you got four-cylinder engines, you got V6. I mean, you got all different engine combinations, you know, different noises they make, and some cars are faster on the straightaway, some cars are fast in the corner, some brake better, some accelerate better. So you get really interesting racing, and for me, that is, as a driver, is really fun when you compete with other cars that although they may not be in your class, they're doing things differently. You're still trying to beat them.
Yeah. In wake of something that happened recently here in Arizona that I'll explain in a minute, have you ever intentionally wrecked someone or no?
Um, Depends who you ask. The official, no, I didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident. I have run into somebody that just, you know, just just really pissed me off, to be honest with you. But I didn't put him in the wall. I just gave him a real good shove, and sometimes, you know, you get a little heated. I'm probably more level-headed now than I was, you know, years ago, and I don't get too flustered behind the wheel because one of the things you have to do as a driver too is you have to really control your emotions. There's times that you are completely frustrated or things didn't go the way you want, and it could be as simple as a bad pit stop, or you know, you've made a mistake or somebody else has made a mistake that caused you to lose time or positions. You just can't let that get to you. You just need to stay focused and you know, your eye on the ball, so to speak.
Yeah, that unfortunately didn't happen with a local go-kart racer out in Phoenix. I was sent a clip to it by a friend of mine, and apparently 10 or 11 days ago, there was a go-kart series for K1, I believe, one of their divisions. They had their last race, and there was a driver that was one turn away from winning a championship. and he was like one turn away, or at least no, it was one lap away from the championship coming to the white flag, and he got nudged by another driver, and the driver went past him and took the lead. It was a fair move from what you look at the video, but in the next corner, he chased after the guy and went off course, almost hitting an official.
Uh,
And he and the minute that they came off turn four to the checkered flag, he intentionally wrecked the guy, knocking him into the wall, and then continued on to finish the race in first and potentially win the championship. But officials determined, like within a minute, that he was being disqualified
yeah,
for aggressive driving. And he lost the championship because in that one lap he made a dumb decision, and it's like, why would you do that?
yeah.
You know?
It's red mist sometimes sets in. I mean, I understand it. I hope that, I'm way beyond that now, but I can see how it
Yeah.
happens at times, where you just go like, that was just the dumbest move I've ever seen. Why did you do that? Um, Yeah, it's in some ways it's like any other sport. I follow the NHL quite a bit, and fights occur. And should they happen? Probably not. But it's got a little bit red mist, a little bit contact, and before you know it, somebody decides that enough is enough, and they're going to deal with it. And occasionally that happens in motorsports too. It does give a little bit of a black eye to motorsports because it's really not what it's all about. You try to do it clean and and you try to gain respect from your fellow competitors by doing that.
Yeah, for sure. I just remember seeing the clips after that race when afterwards, the second place go-kart was declared the winner, and someone that was running third, I think, won the championship because of the disqualification. But I remember seeing the officials, talking to the competitor afterwards, and then the competitor's team owner just being like at his driver being like, "Why'd you do that?" We were on
Yeah,
our way to the championship.
we had it won, and what the sad part is like I've just been going through. I told you we just launched a go-karting team as well.
Mhm.
And I've just been going through, CVs and video of different drivers that we're looking to put into go-karts, and we fully fund the whole deal. So the kids just come and drive with us. And those are things that we look for. If I see a kid that's got, bad attitude or, they're not going to drive for us. And if someone is driving for us and that happens, they'll be looking for a ride after that. Like there's just no room for that. We need to be a little bit more respectful and especially nowadays as the cars and the go-karts are getting faster and faster and faster, a little incident can become a real big incident very quickly.
It can, and I later read that the disqualification was for many reasons. For one, it was the fact that he almost hit an official, which is one part of the penalty, and then the other one was going off track, which is another penalty, and then wrecking the guy intentionally and dangerously at like 40 miles per hour, There's not enough protective seats in that go-kart. There's no room for
Nope,
that. And
no.
I later read afterwards that the driver was, after it was all said and done, he was given a 1 year suspension from the
And rightfully
series.
so. Rightfully so. And you think about that at the go-karting level. I mean, sort of at the top end, the kids are maybe 18, 19 years old. Getting a 1 year suspension is kind of like that's the end of your career. When you fall out of favor for a year, it's pretty hard to come back and get back in. So, a small action that that started from a frustration can ruin your career, and those are things that kids just have to learn. Well, all drivers have to learn that.